I'm jet lagged. I have no makeup on. I'm slightly delusional. Hey Queens, so I just got back from New York. I went to celebrate my 21st, and whilst I was there I went to one or two bookshops. Not many, just a couple, and bought one or two books. So I have a problem. So I thought I would do a little haul for you guys because I literally bought 27 books. And you might be thinking, Sam, aren't books cheaper in England? Why are you going to America and buying 27 books? Well, because the covers are prettier. Like, a lot of covers are better in the UK, sure, but there are also a lot of covers that are better in the US, and Jeff Bezos killed Book Depository, so I have no way of getting American covers anymore. So I did have a list before I went of books that I was on the lookout for, and I bought quite a few. So the first bookshop that I went into was called Books Are Magic, which is in Brooklyn, and the book I got is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I'm very excited to read this. I've heard quite a mixed bag of things, but I am excited to give it a go for myself, and they also gave me a bookmark for free. The next bookshop I went into is The Ripped Bodice, which again is in Brooklyn, and this is one I was really excited to go to because it's a completely romance bookshop. There is a few like little bits like in the back of other stuff, but in general it's a romance bookshop, and this was so cute. And like they had a toilet in the back, and there was like post-its all over the wall of like people leaving notes and stuff like that, and it was just such a cute little shop. I had a blast wandering around there. And from The Ripped Bodice I got Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Now I know this is the cover that you get in the UK, but hear me out. The sequel, Yours Truly, I way prefer the cover from the US. Little spoiler as to what's to come in this video. However, if I bought this here and then bought Yours Truly in the US, then they wouldn't match, and they are part of a series, so I did have to get Part of Your World too. And I'm currently reading my first Abby Jimenez. I'm reading The Friend Zone, and I'm really enjoying it so far, so I am excited to get to her other books. I did get a few bookmarks from The Ripped Bodice, so this is the free one, which I think is really, really cute. And then I did buy a couple. So there's this wooden one that just says The Ripped Bodice, and these two sort of like more cardy ones. One's food and one's books, and I just thought they were cute. Next I went into McNally Jackson. This is the first chain of the bunch. The other two were independents. McNally Jackson is a chain, and from there I picked up Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I think all of Emily Henry's covers are way better in the US. I don't know what is going on with the UK covers, no offence to the UK cover artist, but these are way better. Like, they just are. So I picked this up. I already have People We Meet on Vacation in the US edition, so I definitely wanted to get these. I haven't read a single Emily Henry, and I own most of her books, if not all. See what I'm talking about when I say I have a problem. Okay, the next bookshop, if you have heard of bookshops in New York at all, you have probably heard of this bookshop, and it is the Strand, which is known as the Mile of Books or something like that. It's a huge bookshop. It's got 3 floors, and honestly it was like an ever-going cavern of books. It was insane. Like, the shelves were probably double my height, and it was just filled and filled with books, and it's a mixture of used and new, I think. But I'm assuming all the books that I got are used. First, we have The Tower of Nero by Rick Riordan. This is one of the last books that I need in like the Riordan verse in these US covers. When Book Depository announced it was closing down, I ordered a lot of the ones that I had left, but they didn't have this in stock. Or I think this is the one that I ordered it and it was one of those books where it's no dust jacket, it's just a hardcover, but like the cover is printed on the hardcover, and I didn't like that, so I sent that back. So I was really, really excited to find this in the Strand because it was only $10. Next, I have The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. This is the fourth? No, I think it's the third. I'm pretty sure it's the third book in the Truly Devious series. I already have the first two, and I have them in hardcover, which is kind of hard to find the hardcover editions in the UK, apart from like whichever one is the most recently published. So when I saw this for $10.50, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna grab it. I'm super excited to read this series because it was recommended to me. I'd already heard about it, but it was recommended to me when I was asking in one of the many Discord servers I'm in for like book groups, whether it's people's Patreons or readathons or whatever. I asked if anyone had any recommendations for books that kind of gave a House of Anubis vibe, because I was doing a rewatch of that and just really was in the mood for that kind of mystery. And someone recommended this series based on the boarding school aspect of it, so I am super excited to finally get to this series. Next book I have is No Exit by Taylor Adams. When I saw this on the shelf, I literally got so excited because this cover doesn't exist anymore. When it first came out and everyone was first talking about it, I saw the English cover and I was like, this is so ugly, and I know this cover exists, I need this cover. And even at the time, this cover wasn't on Book Depository. It was always like I have a constant sort of running list of like books I want to get the American covers of, like if I get the chance, whether it's me going to America or a friend going to America and being like, can you pick me up one book or whatever. And this has been on that list for a while. And then when I was going through my list before I left to sort of look at the prices in Barnes and Noble so that I could compare prices as and when I found the books, this cover didn't exist, and I was like, don't tell me that I'm not going to be able to get this book, you know? So I actually got so excited when I saw this book on the shelf, and it was only $13.50, so yeah, which I think is quite interesting because on the sticker it says out of print, so I would have thought they'd put up the price of an out of print book, but apparently not. The last book that I got from the Strand is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This will be my third. Well, no, I've read two of Riley Sager's books, but I have the only one left. I think that's the only one I own that I've not read, but I do enjoy his writing and I'm excited to give this a go. This one actually wasn't on my list, but I saw it and I was like, wait a minute, let me just check what the English cover was. And I didn't like it, so I picked this up. It was $16, which, you know, for American books, that is a bargain price for a hardcover, so yeah. Next, I went up into the Barnes & Noble in Union Square, which is supposedly the biggest bookstore, either in America or the world, but I swear to God the one on Fifth Avenue is bigger. I went into both on this trip, and the one on Fifth Avenue definitely felt bigger, so who knows. But I did get a couple books from there. So first I got Camp Jupiter Classified, again by Rick Riordan. This was just another one that was on my list of the Riordanverse books that I prefer the American cover of and wanted to try and get whilst I was here. Then I got Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murders. This was 30% off, so bargain. And this is actually Kayla's book club pick for February, I think. And I've been intrigued by this for a while. And again, the cover in England is ugly. This is a common theme because the majority of the books I bought because I prefer the American covers. Then we have By Any Other Name by Lauren Kate, which is a romance. I think it's between an author and his editor. She's the editor, he's the author, I think. Last is actually not a book that I prefer the cover of, but it was because it surprisingly worked out cheaper. And that is Counting the Cost by Jill Duggar. I used to be obsessed with that whole 10 kids and counting, and it kept on going up. I think it got up to 19 kids and counting is the last I remember. So I'm really intrigued to read this, and I saw that it was 50% off, and I looked up on Waterstones and it's not 50% off there, which means that even though I bought this in America, it was actually cheaper than the exact same book in the UK, which is a strange one. Then there were quite a few books that I heard when I was looking online beforehand and noted down the price, had noticed were on sale online and they weren't in store. So what I ended up doing is I ended up ordering for collection at Fifth Avenue and then picked them up because Barnes & Noble does the same thing as Waterstones, where if it's in stock in store you can order it and it'll be ready within 2 hours. So I did order 10 books that way. We have Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, obviously talked about that before when I spoke about Part of Your World. We have Out There by Kate Folk. This is a short story collection that Kayla mentioned on her channel quite a while ago. I can't remember the context, I can't even remember if she liked it. I just remember being intrigued by it and, like, at the time, absolutely hating the English cover. And this was another one where I wanted to buy it at the time, but it wasn't available on Book Depository, so I was just waiting for an opportunity to go to America myself. We have The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I am aware that these covers are now in the UK, however, my copies of the first 2 books I ordered off Book Depository as the US covers, so I wanted to make sure size and everything matched because US paperbacks are bigger than UK ones. Then we have Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This wasn't originally on my list, but I just saw it when I was in one of the shops before Barnes & Noble, and I was like, actually, I've been interested in this while, let me just check what the English cover is, and discovered I hate it. So it went on my list. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. Again, this is one I've been wanting for years. I just really don't vibe with the like pinky cover that the UK has. I don't think it's ugly, I just think this is prettier. Then we have A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn. This is the first in the Veronica Speedwell series. If you watch Katie Colson, you know all about this series. She is the reason I am picking this up, but it does sound so cute and entertaining and exciting. Next we have The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. This is a weird one because I actually had this pre-ordered for ages on Amazon, and then I just got notified that it wasn't coming, they just didn't have the stock, and then I now can't find it in this cover anywhere. I can't find it anywhere in the UK. I don't know when it's releasing, what is going on with it. I might have, like, this might have been a dumb purchase. This might be available in the UK somewhere and I just can't find it, or it's going to release soon in the UK and I just didn't realise it wasn't released yet. But I've been wanting to read this for a while, so I just picked it up. Then we have The Woman in the Library by Sulari Gentile. This is another one where I don't think the actual English cover is ugly, I just think this is stunning. So yeah, and this really intrigues me. I feel like I've heard less about this than other books I've mentioned. If you don't know what this is about, it's like it's a murder mystery in a library, but the main character is writing a book and she's sending the pages of the book to someone. And there's a mystery in the book, but there's a mystery in real life, I think, as well. Sounds very exciting. Then we have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is another one that wasn't originally on my list because, to be completely honest, I have been holding out for that original, I think it's orange cover, for ever. I just don't think I'm ever going to find it. And I saw this in, I think it was Ripped Bodice. I saw this and I was like, let me just double check what the new current English cover is, and I hated it. It was similar, I'm pretty sure it's like similar design to the Emily Henry books in England. And last but not least from Barnes & Noble is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Again, same story as Book Lovers. I hate the English covers of these books, and I do think Emily Henry will be an author for me. Hopefully she will be, because I own all her books. I have the English edition of Happy Place because I think it's the only one that's actually pretty. I still want the American edition, but in paperback to match the rest of my copies, and that's not out yet. The last place I have books to show you from is Book Off, which is actually the first shop I went into, but I wanted to think about some of the books I found, and I knew that was risky considering it's a used bookstore and someone could buy the books that I found that I liked by the time I came back, but I just wanted to think about them because I went in literally just before the theatre because we had half an hour to kill, so I didn't really have anywhere to be carrying it anyway, and I just wanted to think about it. It was literally the first full day. I don't know if you can hear that, but someone's wheels are squeaky. So the first book that I got is A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreet. This, I've heard, I feel like I've heard mixed things. I can't remember. I did see people talk about this, when it was the Book of the Month book, and the plot does intrigue me. I can't remember what it is, but I did look it up whilst I was in the shop, and it was only $5.50, so I was like, realistically, what harm is it causing if I get it? Next, we have a book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. Again, I heard quite a few things about this when it was the Book of the Month book. I do remember this being a bit more mixed bag, but again, $5.50, and it does sound interesting. Next, we have Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I actually already own this book. However, I love this golden cover, and it was only $7.50, so I thought, why not? You know, at this point I was already 26 books in. It's not going to make that much difference. Next, we have Razorblade Tears. Again, this is the Book of the Month edition, and I heard quite a few things when it was the Book of the Month. I think I remember Kayla enjoying this. If Kayla didn't, another YouTuber that I watched definitely did. I just remember her talking about it. I remember her vlogging, reading it. I just don't know if it was positive or negative because it was a while ago, but other people have said great things about this. Lastly, I have The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. Again, this is just another one that I've heard so much about. I've heard so many, I feel like mixed things, but it does sound like something I'll enjoy, and again, it was $9.50, not the end of the world if I hate it. There was actually one last shop that I nearly forgot I went into because I nearly didn't go into it, and that is the Drama Bookshop. Now, I am a musical theatre and acting film student. I want to be an actor. I love musicals, so obviously I had to go into this shop, but actually because it was the closest to my hotel, it was the one that actually I nearly ended up not going to because I just kept on putting it off, being like, oh, I don't need to do that now because it's close to the hotel. And then we were literally on our way back from shopping in the morning of us leaving, and I was like, I just need to quickly run in here, and I'm so glad I did because I ended up getting the script for the Lightning Thief musical. Like I mentioned before, I do really love Percy Jackson, and I obviously love musicals, so this was the perfect thing. I really enjoy the score. If you haven't listened to the score of this, you should. But yeah, and the cashier started talking to me about the TV show. I was like, I want to stay and talk to you, but also I have a plane to catch, because I was literally pushing it for time for when I should be back at the hotel. But I did really enjoy that he was like, oh my god, have you been watching the show? Like, what do you think? So yeah, and that was another one where you got a free bookmark. Okay, that is every single one of the 27 books that I bought whilst I was in America. Definitely need to go on a book buying ban now. Although I do have £40 to spend at Waterstones because of rewards and a gift card I got for my birthday. So I am also aware that the last video that I posted was also a book haul. There was meant to be videos in between, but I came back to uni and had so much to do that it just didn't happen. I'm going to try and be more active this semester, like actually still film videos despite being at uni. Part of my issue was that my room was a mess, so I couldn't sit in front of the bookshelves like this, but part of the issue was busyness as well, so I'm going to try and be better. If not, it might be sporadic videos until I graduate. Thank you for watching. Please like if you enjoyed, and leave a comment if there's any videos you would like to see from me. I promise I will eventually get to them. But yeah, that's it for this video. Bye.